So today I will discuss some questions of chemical bonding. So I'm writing some questions of chemical bonding here.
Sir,
So they are the four statements I have written about sulfuryl chloride, SO2Cl2. You have to identify the correct statements. First is related to bond angle. Next, you have to compare the number of p-pi and number of p-pi-d-pi bonds. Option C is 1 mole of this compound reacts with 0.1 mole of P4 and its aqueous solution does not give pink color with phenolphthalein. So you have to identify correct statements about sulfuryl chloride, SO2Cl2.
Sir, all are correct.
All are correct. All of you do it.
Sir, AC, sir.
AC. B and D are wrong.
ACD, sir. AC only, sir. AC only. And we are wrong.
Okay. Anyone else? So the given compound was sulfuryl chloride, SO2Cl2. What is the geometry of this compound?
Tetrahedral.
Tetrahedral. So it is tetrahedral. Now sulfur is forming two bonds with oxygen and two bonds with chlorine. So suppose these are the two bonds with oxygen and these are the two bonds with chlorine. Now, you know, oxygen covalency is 2, so bond between oxygen and sulfur will obviously be double bond, and bond between oxygen and this sulfur will also be a double bond. Now first you have to compare the bond angle. Suppose if these pi bonds are not there, of course there is no lone pair of electron on sulfur, right? It has got only 6 valence electrons and see it has formed 6 bonds. So all the valence electrons are involved in bond formation. So lone pair of electron is not there. So if these pi bonds are not there, if these pi bonds would have not been there, then obviously the bond angle will be very close to 109 degree, and we're expecting all the four bond angles almost similar. There may be slight difference because of the larger size of chlorine, but difference won't be that. But here, you see the bond between sulfur and oxygen is double bond, and this sulfur and oxygen is also double bond. Now try to recall the repulsion between the electron pairs of double bond will be more as compared to that between double and single. And repulsion between bond pairs of double bond and single bond will be more than that between single and single bond. So double bond repulsion will be strongest. Next will be double bond single bond, and weakest repulsion will be between single bond and single bond. Now if double bond repulsion is strongest, this bond angle will increase. This bond angle will be more than the expected. This bond angle will increase. Next will be this, the bond angle between double and single. Because of bond pair repulsion, bond angle increases. So because of the strongest repulsion between double bond and double bond, this bond angle will be maximum. The next will be the angle between double and single, and least angle will be between single bond and single bond. So here the first option is that only. Angle between oxygen, sulfur, oxygen will be greater than the angle between oxygen, sulfur, chlorine, and that will be greater than the angle between chlorine, sulfur, chlorine. So that is your first option, and that is correct. Now, second option is number of p-pi bonds less than number of p-pi d-pi. So see here, sulfur is forming 2 pi bonds with oxygen. Can you tell me what is the nature of that pi bond? Is it p-pi or p-pi d-pi?
p-pi d-pi.
p-pi d-pi. Because sulfur hybridization will be sp3. So all the p orbitals of sulfur are involved in formation of sigma bond. So sulfur is not left with any p orbital for the formation of pi bond. So obviously whatever pi bond is formed, in the formation of that pi bond, sulfur has utilized its p orbital. Then oxygen will obviously utilize its p orbital. So this pi bond is p-pi d-pi, p orbital of oxygen and d orbital of sulfur. This pi bond is also p-pi d-pi. So second option, which is saying that the number of p-pi d-pi bonds is less than the number of p-pi d-pi bonds, that is also correct. Now check third option. It is said that 1 mole of this compound reacts with 0.1 mole of P4. So try to recall the reaction. If P4 is reacted with sulfuryl chloride, SO2Cl2.
PCl5 plus SO2.
PCl5 SO2.
PCl5 plus SO2.
SO2.
Now if you balance this equation, I think this will be 10.
Yes. And 4 that's
4 and
again 10.
again 10. So this is the balanced equation of P4 and SO2Cl2. Now compare the moles. Is it coming correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is also correct. Now after that, the next statement is the aqueous solution of sulfuryl chloride does not give a pink color with phenolphthalein. So this is again the reaction of sulfuryl chloride. If you dissolve sulfuryl chloride in water, what product will you get?
H2SO4 and HCl.
Correct. So you will get sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid. So when sulfuryl chloride is dissolved in water, it gives sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid. So aqueous solution will be acidic. Now if it is acidic, what color will it give with phenolphthalein?
Colorless.
Colorless. So it is not going to give pink color, it will form colorless solution. So option D is also correct. So all the 4 options are correct here. Now another question. Do this question.
All C. All of this.
All of this.
All of these. All fluorine atoms are in same plane in these compounds. So answer is all of this.
Yes, sir. All of this.
What is geometry of this compound?
sp3t2.
I'm
Square
asking-
pyramidal.
Yeah, square pyramid.
Square
Square
pyramid.
pyramidal. It is a square pyramidal. So central atom is xenon. It is bonded to 4 fluorine and 1 oxygen. So here also all the 4 fluorine will come in same plane. And I think in these two options there is no doubt. If anyone has any doubt, then ask. I will explain that. Okay. Now, see one more question.
So CD, sir.
CD.
Yes, sir.
AD, sir.
Take some more time and think carefully. If you are getting it, then you can unmute your mic and tell.
Sir, BC.
BC. No, that is also not the answer.
Sir, only D, sir.
Only,
Only D.
only D. That is also not the answer.
Sir, only C, sir.
Only C. That is also not the answer. Compare the difference. Here you have lone pair and here you have pi bond.
Sir, AB, sir.
AB.
Yes.
Okay. How you got AB?
Sir, lone pair repulsion with bond pair will be more than double bond repulsion with single bonds.
Mhm.
This theta 2 or theta 2 dash are in the same plane. Compared with that lone pair and double bond, so repulsion of double bond will be more compared to repulsion of lone pair will be more compared to double bond.
Okay.
Sir, one more way we can express
Tell.
because fluorine, the two theta 1 and theta 1 dash are nearer to lone pair or double bond. So they experience more repulsions when compared to the fluorines at 120, approximately 120 degrees.
Mhm.
Now double bond repulsions will be considered more than lone pairs. So
We'll get the option.
no, then we'll get B with A with that, because theta 1 should decrease. Theta 1 won't decrease that much as theta 1 dash, but because fluorines come nearer to the other two fluorines, so those fluorines again get deviated, and theta 2 becomes less than theta 2 dash.
Okay. The correct answers are A and B. If You can think some better logic than think. I will give you 1-2 minutes more time. After that, I will explain. Answers I told you now. Answers are A and B. So can you tell me what kind of electronic structures are these? When these electronic structures, what is shape of the electronic structure? I'm not asking shape of the molecule. Electronic structure I'm asking.
Sir, TBP, sir.
TBP, triangular bipyramidal, correct. So here you see these two fluorine which I have written, this fluorine and this fluorine. At which place these two fluorines are present? Equatorial or axial?
Axial.
These two are axial. These two fluorine equatorial and this lone pair also equatorial. Here, these two fluorine are at axial position, these two fluorine equatorial, and oxygen is at axial position. Now, first we come to this, first geometry. This is lone pair of electron present at equatorial position. Obviously, it will repel this axial bonds as well as equatorial bonds. But you tell me which bond will be repelled more, equatorial bond or axial bond?
Axial.
Axial. See, what happens here, this lone pair of electron is present at equatorial position and it is under the influence of only one nucleus of sulfur. So this lone pair will occupy sufficiently large space around sulfur. This entire space will be occupied by lone pair. Its electron density will spread out and it will become very fat. It will occupy large space around sulfur. Because of this, the electron density of this lone pair will move very close to this equatorial position, this equatorial bonds. It will occupy very large space around the sulfur and it will move very close to this equatorial bond. No doubt it will repel axial as well as equatorial both, but since it is moving very close to equatorial bond, the equatorial bonds will be repelled more by lone pair as compared to axial bonds. Now, come to this geometry. Here you have pi bond between sulfur and oxygen. Now you tell me how this pi bond is oriented. I'm asking only about pi bond. What is the orientation of electron density of pi bond? Is it in the plane of this SOF2, means it is in this triangular plane or perpendicular to the triangular plane?
Perpendicular.
Tell again.
Perpendicular plane.
Perpendicular to the triangular plane. So this electron density of pi bond is perpendicular to this triangular plane like this. This is the electron density of pi bond. So now tell me, will it be closer to axial bond or closer to equatorial bond? It will closer to axial bond. So what will happen then? It will repel axial bonds more than the equatorial bonds. So pi bond will repel axial bonds more than equatorial bonds. Lone pair will repel equatorial bonds more than the axial bonds. So now, if you compare the angles, you have to compare θ1 and θ1 dash. θ1 is the angle between these two axial bonds. In this case, first case, these axial bonds are less repelled by lone pair. But in second case, the axial bonds are more repelled by lone pair. So if axial bonds are more repelled, what will happen? The bond angle will decrease. The axial bonds are repelled by the pi electron density more in the second case. But here the lone pair will repel axial bonds less it will repel equatorial bonds more. In second case, this pi electron density will repel axial bonds more and equatorial bonds less. So because of more repulsion by the pi electron density, this angle between these two axial bonds will decrease. It will decrease more. So theta 1 dash will be less than theta 1. So this theta 1 dash will be less than theta 1. So option A is correct. Now similarly you can compare theta 2 and theta 2 dash. This theta 2 is the angle between these two equatorial bonds. Here theta 2 dash is the angle between two equatorial bonds in second figure. Now in first figure, this electron density of lone pair that is repelling these two equatorial bonds more. But here the electron density of pi bond is repelling these two equatorial bonds less. So because of more repulsion by lone pairs in first case, the angle between these two equatorial bonds will decrease more. Here it will decrease less. So theta 2 will be less than theta 2 dash. So option B will be correct. Have you got it? If anyone has any doubt, please ask.
Sir, how did you compare the theta 2, sir? Can you explain once again?
Theta 2. Theta 2 is the angle between these two equatorial bonds. So we are comparing theta 2 with theta 2 dash. So this theta 2 and theta 2 dash, these are the angle between equatorial bonds. Now here what I told you that this lone pair that will be bit more closer to this equatorial bond and therefore it will repel equatorial bond more. But here this pi electron density is more closer to axial bond. So it will repel axial bond more and equatorial bond less. And because of this lone pair bond pair repulsion, what will happen? Bond angle will decrease. The effect of lone pair bond pair repulsion is decrease in bond angle. So if this lone pair is repelling these two equatorial bonds more, these two bonds will move more closer and therefore the bond angle will more decrease. Here these equatorial bonds are less repelled by pi electron density. So these two equatorial bonds will move less closer. And therefore bond angle will decrease, no doubt, but it will decrease less. This theta 2 dash will decrease less, but it will decrease more. Because these bonds will experience more repulsions from lone pair. Here, these two equatorial bonds will experience less repulsion from pi electron density.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now do one more question.
What is cos of 107?
Cos 107 is minus 0.3. Solve it.
Sir, 0.57.
0.57.
0.6.
0.43.
Check your calculations. Some mistake we have done.
0.6, sir.
0.6, correct. All of you do it, everything is written in the question itself, only calculations are there. Are you getting 0.6?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me explain this question now. So in the question, it is said that if theta is the angle between two bonds, so there's the angle between two bonds on the same central atom, then fraction of S character of the bond can be calculated by this cos theta equal to S by S minus 1. It is given in the question. Now, the thing that let fraction of S character of each orbital having lone pair in water be X and the fraction of S character of the lone pair in ammonia be Y. Then find X plus Y, and cos 104.5 and cos 107 are given. You know, there's a bond angle in water and there's a bond angle in ammonia. They've given the values. So basically, you have to find the fraction of S character of lone pair in water and fraction of S character of the lone pair in ammonia. So first we will do for water. Now water has two bond pair and there are two lone pairs. And this is the bond angle which is known to us, it is 104.5 degree. Now the fraction of S character in a bond can be calculated with the help of this relationship. It is told in the question that you can calculate using this formula, S by S minus 1. So cos 104.5 degree, this will be S by S minus 1, and cos 104.5 degree is given, it is minus 0.25, this is equal to S by S minus 1. What is the value of S?
1 by 5.
Point?
0.2.
0.2.
Yes.
So the value of S is 0.2. That means the fraction of S character, in each oxygen hydrogen bond is 0.2. So total S character, or you can write this way, the fraction of S character in two oxygen hydrogen bonds will be 0.4. In each bond it is 0.2, so in two bonds it will be 0.4. So the fraction of S character in orbital with lone pair this will be 1 minus 0.4 divided by 2. Is correct?
Yes, sir.
Fraction of S character in two bonds, two oxygen hydrogen bond is 0.4. So if you subtract this 0.4 from 1, you will get the fraction of S character in two orbitals which are having lone pair. We have two orbitals containing lone pair. So 0.6, that is the fraction of S character in two orbitals of lone pair. So fraction of S character in each orbital, I am writing here each orbital. In each orbital with lone pair will be 1 minus 0.4 by 2. So it will become 0.3. And this is only X. So we got the value of X, it is 0.3. Now similarly we will do for ammonia. So X is 0.3, this we got. Now you take ammonia molecule and do the similar calculation. is ammonia, there is only one lone pair on nitrogen. Now bond angle is known to you, bond angle is 107. So use that relationship and calculate what is the fraction of S character in each nitrogen-hydrogen bond. If anyone has calculated, you can tell the value, what you are getting.
3/13, sir.
3/13. So this is in one nitrogen-hydrogen bond. You have 3 nitrogen-hydrogen bonds. So fraction of S character in 3 nitrogen-hydrogen bonds will be 3 times of this, which is 9/13. So fraction of S character in orbital with lone pair will be 1 minus 9/13. So this will become 4/13. So y is 4/13. Find x plus y. I think it is coming 0.60 something. That will only come. Now, one more question you do. Okay, I will dictate this question. You can write. Per Jnet ion, in bracket I have written no peroxy linkage, is an ion formed by xenon and oxygen. An ion formed by xenon and oxygen with xenon as the central atom. I am repeating, per Jnet ion, no peroxy linkage in bracket, is an ion formed by xenon and oxygen with xenon as the central atom. Shape of the ion is perfectly symmetrical. Perfectly symmetrical with no lone pair on xenon. Shape of the ion is perfectly symmetrical with no lone pair on xenon, and xenon gets maximum oxidation state. And xenon gets maximum oxidation state. All oxygen xenon oxygen bond angles, all oxygen xenon oxygen bond angles are 90 degree. All oxygen xenon oxygen bond angles are 90 degree, and all the bond lengths are equal. All oxygen, xenon oxygen bond angles are 90 degree and all the bond lengths are equal. Find the magnitude of charge on anion. Find the magnitude of charge on anion. Find the magnitude of charge on anion.
4, sir.
You tell?
4, sir.
4. What is the formula?
XCO6 minus
CO6 minus 4.
XCO6 minus.
Okay, from all these informations, can you tell me what are the possible geometries?
Octahedral.
That is the only possibility? Can we have a square planar also?
No, sir. Then we'll have to have lone pair, sir.
Right. So if you read all the informations from this bond angle, they're saying that all the bond angles are 90 degree and the lengths are equal, all the bond lengths are equal. We are able to understand that it may be either octahedral or a square planar. But you can rule out the possibility of a square planar because xenon should not have that, what do you call that, lone pair of electron. And after that you can proceed, you will get this formula XCO6 4 minus. So magnitude of charge will be 4. Okay, so I am completing for the day. We'll meet in the next class again.